And we are getting exclusive first-hand looks at one of the facilities that is housing illegal immigrants that are pouring across our southern border. Now, these are exclusive Fox pictures. Cameras, as you know, have been blocked from these facilities, and you can see that the faces are blurred in these. These were taken inside the Border Patrol detention facility in McAllen, Texas, right on our border with Mexico. Thousands of migrants, many of them unaccompanied children, and moms with their children streaming across the border with the belief that once they make it to the United States, they will be able to stay. John Roberts secured this exclusive footage for us. He toured that facility. He is live in a very warm McAllen, Texas this morning. So, John, first of all, the headline about the situation there, and then we'll get to what you saw inside these facilities.
Well, the headline here from the Rio Grande Valley, at least, Martha, today appears to be that the number of apprehensions are down about 600 to 700 per day, down from about 11 to 1,200. Let's take you back inside that facility, which we got exclusive access to yesterday. We saw a lot of families, a lot of unaccompanied children. There were an awful lot of men there as well. We found 80 of them crammed in one 20 by 20 holding area, and the place was just a beehive as the Border Patrol agents were trying to process these illegal immigrants and get them out to detention facilities elsewhere. There were about 460 people there. That's down from a peak of 1,500. The Border Patrol attributes the decline to a seasonal drop-off, which they typically see in the month of July, in addition to the fact that they believe that the message may be getting out to people in Central America not to come to the United States. It's still a huge problem, though. We toured the border over the weekend with Texas Republican Congressman Louis Gohmert. Gohmert is highly critical of the president's request for $3.7 billion in emergency funding to address the situation here. Gohmert told me that the first thing the president needs to do is send the message that the border is closed to illegal migration and that anyone who crosses it will immediately be sent back.
Until we do that, they're going to keep flooding in here. As soon as we send them back and they realize, wow, we spent $5,000 and we've got nothing in return, that flood stops.
That $5,000 is money that most of these people pay to coyotes to move them up from Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and Nicaragua through Mexico and across the U.S. border. His fellow Texas Congressman Steve Stockman told me that if the president is looking for a photo op, a good one would be him standing in front of an aircraft full of people about to be sent back to Central America, Martha.
So unbelievable in terms of what we're seeing inside of there. As you said, 80 men crammed into a 20 by 20 space. What does the Border Patrol say about this whole situation, John?
By the way, those numbers are better than they used to be. The Border Patrol chief of the region told me yesterday that he believes that they're beginning to get a handle on this crisis. They are processing these illegal migrants more quickly than they were able to in the past. There are more places to send them after the detention facility at the Border Patrol, and they do say that they're getting just about everything they need from the Department of Homeland Security to address the situation, at least here on the border. In the bigger picture, though, the Border Patrol union told me that this is going to be an enormous burden for American taxpayers, interdicting these illegal migrants, taking care of them, providing them with medical care, social services, potentially education for those who eventually stay here in the United States, not to mention the American jobs that many of them will end up taking if they stay.
I don't think the American taxpayer can quite grasp of what's going on down here and how much of their tax dollars are being wasted.
You know, the Border Patrol also told me that they are beginning to see a lot of gang members who are coming across the border. They're doing their best to screen them and deal with them before releasing them to other places in the United States. And, of course, they remind us that this is all huge business for the drug cartels, which control much of that side of the Rio Grande River, Martha.
Yeah, the drug cartels and MS-13, an influence that we don't need coming any closer and over those borders. John, incredible pictures and images. We will see you later today with more. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Martha.
We will talk to Mr. Cabrera a bit later in our show. Also, we'll talk live with Oklahoma Congressman Jim Bridenstine. He was finally allowed to go into this holding facility in his home state. We'll ask him what he saw and also the priority right now to solve this issue. He has a number of things on his list, and we've been in touch with him in his office now for a couple of weeks, so he's coming up. Don't miss that.
I mean, you can feel the access is starting to loosen up a little bit. It's been very hard for cameras and press to get in there. Everyone understands that there are children, but there are ways to cover this story, and that's what we're doing now.
Yeah, more on that in a moment. 8 minutes past the hour. Another